Stephen.
Barry.
Stephen.
Long, hard days, works night.
It's been a long week.
Oh, it has. We're at the end now, ready for the weekend. House every weekend for me. Party every weekend for me.
Every weekend.
It is. It's literally a house every weekend for me. So, welcome to podcast 235, the NPK live show. What have we got today, Barry?
Shit grip and good grip.
Shit grip and good grip. They need something on the end of that. And then a little shit grip and good grip.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
Don't waste a trip.
Cheap shit.
Yeah.
And then expensive grip.
It's a 3-part podcast. This week's, then we've got a special guest on next week who's going to sort of break it up. Then we're going to follow up with another 2 podcasts. So this podcast today, if you're interested, if you're going to stay with us for today's podcast, is all about shit grip and good grip, cheap grip and expensive grip. And is grip a Liverpool word, or will everyone know what we're on about there?
Good kit and bad kit.
Yeah, expensive kit and cheap kit, and the differences between them. What should you buy cheaply? What should you not buy cheaply? What can you buy that's expensive, and what could you maybe give a miss that's expensive? Leading into podcast 237, 238, which me and Barry are going to have a grow room off. So we've got a £500 budget for podcast 237, and we've got to design a full room to grow 5 to 8 plants, let's say, and we've got to do it for under £500.
Easy.
And then we've got to design the ultimate grow room in a specific size with money's no object, no limit. It's literally just about the best grow room ever. So that's the next 3 podcasts, along with a special guest on Wednesday who we've had on before, but not for many, many years. And he's cool as fuck. So can't wait to get him on Wednesday. So let's move on with today, podcast 235. Go and make yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, have a smoke, have a drink, whatever you need to chill out with NPK Live.
All good? Ready to go? Turn my voice up a little bit. Oh, got that. Everyone watching, the whole family.
Are you ready to go? Are you built a beer in the house that I built, in the booth that I built?
I know people tune in every Sunday to listen, but even when business is good, we still manage to do the podcast.
Right, Basil, let's give the partners the love that they need and deserve.
Should we do it in alphabetical order?
If you can.
CANNA.
Dick every time. So CANNA are our nutrient partner. You can find them on Instagram at canna.uk.official and on their website, canna-uk.com. They are the simplest nutrient to use. Great results every time. Get on the website if you need to know about growing with nutrients. They'll provide you everything you need. And go and check out their Instagram to see some cool posts about fruits, vegetables, and some of the CANNA products.
AutoPot.
AutoPot is the world's #1 gravity-fed watering system, plant-fed system. So AutoPot _global, AutoPot Cultivation Consultancy. That's the 2 Instagram tags. And then you can go and check out their website, autopot.co.uk. Growing your plants in a system without electricity. Nobody better.
SANlight.
SANlight LED. Austrian efficiency at its peak. SANlight _LED.
Fucking efficiency, mate, with these gas bastard prices.
You do. And electricity prices. Everyone needs to switch to SANlight to save money. SANlight _LED and SANlight UK. They're the 2 Instagram accounts. Go and check them out for how to use the lights, what they offer, just some nice, easy to digest info. If you want to get into the nitty gritty though, you've got to go to sanlight.com. All the fixtures are on there, how to use them, lots of YouTube videos. Very, very good company. Thank you, SANlight.
Me bestie,
Erwin, who came over for one of his notorious steak dinners, got COVID and fucked us off.
Stayed in a hotel for about 10 days and then just had to go home.
Yeah, what a trip that was for Erwin. That is Erwin from Can Filters. So they are Erwin_CanFilter or canfilters.nl on Instagram. And their website is canfilters.nl. Intake, outtake, extraction, filtration, air movement, controlling your environment. Can Filters supply and provide it all.
BudBox.
BudBox Grow Tents on Instagram, BudBoxGrowTents.com for the website. They make 2 varieties of tents, white lined, silver lined, thick poles and cost-effective poles. Very good tents, been in the game since day one. If you need a tent and a good quality tent, you go straight to BudBox. Gavita, similar to BudBox, been in the industry since day one. Very innovative company. You can follow them on Gavita International and Gavita North America on Instagram, and just go to gavita.com for their website. On their website, you'll find all of the models, all of the fixtures, all of the shades, all the different variety of lighting that they provide. Very good company. I am proud to have them as a partner of the podcast.
Last is Garden Culture, where you can find all the good grip.
It is indeed Garden Culture Magazine on Instagram, gardenculturemagazine.com. If you want to save the planet, save the environment, you will read all the magazines on their website, which they use a really nice piece of software. It's got every edition ever, and you can flick through it like an actual magazine. Then
and it goes a bit hand in hand with this podcast, doesn't it? Because he does a lot of advertising in the magazine, but the stuff that he does is sort of hand-selected, isn't it? It's good grip what he puts in that magazine.
It is. Well, I know firsthand he will not put, if your equipment is bad, you won't see bad equipment in the Garden Culture magazine. So if you manage to make it in there, you've got to pay to put your advert in there, but Eric's very choosy about what he puts in. So if you're actually advertising in the Garden Culture magazine, you can pretty much rest assured it's going to be a good product.
So
thank you to the partners.
Yeah, man, thank you very much. Where are we starting this podcast? What bit of shit grip and good grip are we going to start with?
Where do all good stories start? At the beginning. Or should we start at the end and then go back to the beginning?
Confuse people.
No, I've got an idea. Let's start at the end where we are today, in today's economy, in today's environment, and let's go back to the way. We'll have a little story, because the NPK shop is actually a good little timeline of good product, bad products, and we can tell the story about our experience in the shop.
But you're telling it back to front.
I am, because we put in the shop today. Put your hand up if you want me to stop, or you think I'm going to spoil something. But Barry yesterday put in the shop.
Stop it.
You want me to stop?
What, do you want me to tell them what it is?
Or are we going to wait till the end?
Wait until the end. Don't
you always ruin my fucking fun.
Start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Okay. So
I thought you're telling the story. I thought we were just going to go bad grip.
We are, but to put it into context, we're going to tell a bit of a story, and you're going to talk about good grip, bad grip. I'm going to do a bit of a timeline story. So let's see how this goes, because this is literally off the cuff. Friday night, we needed to do a podcast, and we're here in the evening, unscripted. Let's go. 2012, NPK opens the shop. We made a promise, all of us, that we would be the Marks and Spencers of grow shops. We would hand select the products that are in the shop. We would use every single product we put on the shelf, and it would always be good quality equipment. That doesn't mean it would always be expensive equipment.
Yeah, but just quality.
Good quality. You can buy things you can buy a Jiffy for a 10 pence. It's a Jiffy's a Jiffy. Do you mean just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's bad? And same for expensive stuff. Just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's good. And that's the whole sort of theme for today's podcast. So we started, and I don't know if you'll remember these. I don't know if you ever used them, because they had a bit of a flash, and then they were a bit of a flash in the pan, and then they sort of faded away as new digital ballasts came out. Do you ever remember the Tech 1 digital ballast?
Tech, what made that Maxi?
I don't know if they were distributed by Maxi, but I think Tech 1 was like its own brand.
The first digital ballast I ever seen were Maxi ones, and they were the Pro Select, and they done two of them. They done a black one, like a metallic one, and then they done a gold one.
Yes, the gold one was the 400 volt.
Yeah, that was it. They were like the first ones that I remember seeing.
Yeah, I remember them as well.
But they were the only two you seen, and back in 2012, no shop stocked them.
No, very few. It was all magnetics.
It was every Monday morning, 100 plus.
Oh, 108 on the pallet.
Yeah, 108
magnetic ballasts.
Magnetic ballasts.
Oh, it was like the Great Wall of China, that fucking thing. It was horrible.
But they were cheap and they worked.
They did.
And I'll say, they still do work.
They do still work very well. A lot of people have probably still got them.
Yeah.
Magnetic ballasts.
We have moved on a lot from that now. They still work. They're cheap. Probably pick up a ballast for about £30, probably £25 now. But you can get a digital ballast now for £40, £45.
Yeah.
Right up to £150, depending on what brand it is. But both still work, but it is time for change. If you went to America now and asked for a magnetic ballast, you'd just be laughed at. It's unheard of over there now. It's like finished. That's all finished. Everything over there now is just pure digital, which is where we should be. We think we are at that point now, though, because
I think we are.
It's pointless shops buying magnetics in big heavy units like fucking breeze blocks when you can have a digital ballast which absolutely weighs nothing, and there's not that much difference in price now. So if you use an analog, magnetics. Is it analog that though?
Yeah, you could say it's analog.
I don't know whether I'm right in saying that. We'll just call them So if you're using magnetics, just bin them. Your shades and everything will still work. They can all stay in place. Just swap it for a digital, especially in this economy that we're in, the climate that we're in. Just get onto digitals. They're much better. Do you know what I mean?
Well, on the magnetics back in the day, there was a lot of variations of magnetics. There was plastic vented magnetics and there was metal vented magnetics, and we always used to sell. You could buy magnetic light kits back in the day for, I'd say, £40 a light kit, and they were the real cheap, horrible plastic, the ones that melt, the ones that produce fire hazards. We never wanted to stock them because we didn't believe in them. They worked, but they were always could be a hazard. We always went for the Pro Gear Highlight metal vented magnetic ballasts, and we sold a lot of them. And we've got very, very few returns. So we've always been about quality. But they were only £55 a light kit at the time, weren't they? And then we move on. Like you said, America, years. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, would have laughed at you even then for magnetics. Yeah. And we've now caught up. Now, if you tell someone in the UK... It
took us 10 years.
We are a little bit behind, aren't we?
Yeah,
but if you tell someone now I'm using magnetic ballast, they'd be like, wow, you haven't upgraded your gear for a while. You definitely wouldn't think you'd just bought them.
If you went to America now, I don't even think they're on, don't get me wrong, I've got the full fixtures, your Gavitas and stuff like that, but it's amazing how time moves so quick. It's from, how long would you say digital ballast have been in a shop where no one's ever asked for a magnetic and we've just been selling them? Because we don't have any magnetics in the shop now.
2018, 2019.
Yeah, now
just before a year before COVID.
So it took 6 years of selling magnetics to get to digitals. Now we're at the point where 8 years, 9 years, 10 years where that's all we sell and no one questions it. Everyone who comes in wants that light digital. Now, what's that, Steve?
Don't know. Telly's just started.
And it's amazing from, let's say, the early 2020, between 2018 and 2020, LEDs have boomed. And it's only now from that time, it's moved dead quick. The time scale between magnetics and digital lights was a long time. And
the time between digital and LED.
The time between digital and LED is a quarter of that. Yeah. It's like, boom.
It's happened quick.
But people have accepted it as well.
But everything's happened with the same sort of pattern, hasn't it? There was just, let's just talk about the UK. There was just magnetics and very few digitals. We sold 5% digitals to 95% magnetics in 2012 to 2016. And there was the good magnetics and the bad magnetics. And then there was probably some of the really high-end magnetics as well that were just well-made. Then we moved on to digital. Or there was digitals always there. There was the tech ones. There was the Maxi Pro switch. Then the gold Maxi ballast that were like £120 a ballast back in the day. A few people bought them because they wanted the latest technology. Then the price of digitals comes down a little bit, makes it more presentable to makes
more appealing to the end user.
To the end user, good words. And then when that happens, the good ones come out and the cheap ones come out, and then you're back to sort of square one, cheap versus good grip, and you've still got the really high end, such as the Maxis. Then the same happened as digital lights were out and we started selling loads of them, the cheap LEDs came out. You had your really high end LEDs, your Helio Spectras, which like $3,000, $4,000.
There's a Kind.
Yeah. We used to do well with Kind, which were 5 years ago, we were charging £1,200 for a Kind LED for the blue, red, green mixed spectrum. But then the cheap shit came. The imports, the ones that were just horrible, what do they call them now? The Blairple LEDs. A lot of people bought into them. Energy efficient, more pound per watt, all this bullshit. People bought into it. The technology wasn't ready, and people got really put off by LEDs.
Now LEDs have just come to a level, haven't they?
Yeah.
Where if you look at most LED manufacturers, SANlight, Maxi, I don't know what a Maxi.
Yeah, Maxi
manufacturer.
Yeah,
yeah.
Gavita.
If you look, Gavita. If Gavita's a little bit expensive, a little bit more expensive than the rest, but everything Gavita do is the top, very top tier.
Yeah,
it is your top tier, lad. It's not. Let's not mess about. It's when Gavita do it, it is done well and it works well, but it's always top tier.
Yeah.
But if you go to your SANlights, your Maxis, who else is there? There's a few now. Who else is there?
You know what? Mars Hydro. It doesn't do too bad. And
them ones are all ones. Them ones all range from anywhere between £200 and £550, £600.
Yeah,
but the fucking boss.
Yeah,
good quality, and they're a lot cheaper than other lights that are out there. Do you know what I mean? And they're fucking good quality, and even now with any of them LEDs you buy, I don't know whether Maxi, I know SANlight is 5-year guarantee. Is it? Or 3 year?
I think I'll definitely say 3 year.
Yeah, it's
maybe
easy
5 year.
Is Maxi the same?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
See, that's just like, how could you moan paying £500 for a light that's going to save you money, give you a better plant? And when I say better plant, I mean you're not going to.
It's a spectrum closer to the sun.
You've took one stress of heat stress out the equation straight away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not, when the summer comes, you're never going to be overcooking your rooms or your greenhouses or whatever like that. So, to me, £500, even if it broke after 5 years, it's well worth it. It's £100 a year.
Well, somebody tried to have an argument with me on Instagram. He said,
it's well worth it.
Put a post up of a LED and said, these are the future. We've said it for years. I know the technology.
Look at it like it's a car tyre. How much you pay for the brand new car tyre? Let's say
£80.
Let's just go for a bit of a premium one. £100, £120. Let's say it's a fucking 17-inch BMW one, brand new car tyre. So you pay £400 for all your tyres. Let's just say that £400. Would you keep them on? Do you reckon they'd still be on your car in 4 years?
No.
It's hit and miss.
It depends how much you drive.
Yeah, it depends how much you drive it.
LED.
But you drove the car with belt for tyres on it.
Yeah.
And it kept you on the road, kept you safe. Good quality tyres. They work fucking great in the rain and all that. So after 4 years, you're happy with them, aren't you?
Yeah.
An LED is the same.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that. An LED has just saved me all my money. There's no big boom startup when it's, I mean, I know digitals aren't a big boom startup, but everything's just better with an LED in my eyes.
It's more efficient.
I don't think I could go back to using digital lights.
Not once you've got your head around using LEDs.
Once you've used an LED, then that's just the way forward.
Yeah.
There's no problems in the winter. There's no problems in the summer. You bring the best out your plant, the best colours, everything out your plant. What that plant has got in it is that LED will drag it out of it. So for £500,
the arguments I
think it's unbelievable value for money for 5 years.
Some of our listeners maybe sat there going, yeah, but in the winter, you've got to add a 2,000 kilowatt heater because it's too cold.
No, do you want me to tell you the way around that? People think by putting a heater in, Yeah, it gets the room hot, doesn't it? But it only gets the room hot. So why would you do that? This is what I tell people until the penny drops. I say, if you've got a room and it's got, let's just say it had 10 LEDs in it, and it was sitting around 23, 24, and you've got to put 2 oil-filled radiators in, 2,500 watt, 5,000 watts. Why not just put 3 600s or 4 600 watt lights in there? Because they'll produce the heat and they'll also benefit the plant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my theory on it. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone by putting 600 watt light kits in there, just digitals or whatever you've got. But the heat off them bulbs and the light that's emitted from them helps the plant grow, and it builds up the heat in the room. So why would you just put an oil-filled radiator in?
Because what I was going to say
there's a bit of a thing about, you shouldn't mix them. But I've mixed them in the past and I've seen no differences. I've seen no differences. There's people out there that'll say, no, you shouldn't do it. But
is that, what problems do you have when your room's full of HPS?
What do you mean?
Like, what environmental problem do most people come under?
Heat, humidity.
What would you rather do? Would you rather get rid of heat or add heat?
Get rid of it.
Would you? I was hoping you'd say add heat because it's much easier.
I thought you were asking, like, what would you rather have? 600 watt lights or LED?
So, what's easier to do in a room?
Have the problem of heating my room up than cooling it down.
Heat it up. Yeah. So with LEDs, if that's your answer, Barry's response is you add HPS lights in. You add light and heat. My response is, it's much easier to add heat than to take it away. So if that's your reason for not using HPS, it's a bit of a poor reason. If it's that's your reason for not using LED, it's a bit of a poor reason, because in the summer, we'll come back to you and go, how are you getting on with your roommate? How are you getting on with removing the hot air when outside it's 27 degrees? Difficult, isn't it? Impossible, you might say. It's not impossible. It's never impossible to add heat to an LED room. So
that's LEDs and lights covered.
Well. We were talking about good kit, bad kit. What we should go for. Bad kit
is don't buy off eBay.
Yeah.
The Yingling top
you've
of the
been
line.
all over eBay this week, haven't you?
Listen.
What's the cheapest you can buy an LED for on eBay?
I can go on now and buy an LED for about... I can get one for £20, but let's not talk about that. That's like a fucking IKEA one. If you're looking at the cheapest, it's £20. It's an IKEA one that goes on your kitchen windowsill.
What's one that you think?
But one that you dang up in a 1 metre tent is about £70.
Yeah. And what colour spectrum was
it? Purple.
Yeah. Why should people...
You can get white ones as well.
Why should people not buy that type of LED for £70?
Come on, mate. Why would you? You would have to be an absolute fucking dingbat to go on eBay and pay £70 for an LED light thinking that it's going to work. It's like ordering a fucking a motorbike off wish.com. Imagine what you're going to get through the post. It's a load of fucking shite. You just don't do it. You don't do it. You know what I mean? There's not a grow shop in the world, horticulturist in the world that will say, oh, yeah, them £70 ones, fucking mustard, them, well worth, good value for money. But you're just going to waste your time.
People must be buying them for them to be on there, mustn't they? People must be out there going, you know what, I'm going to buy that £70 blue and red.
I can understand Doris buying one, who's got a shed, and she has all the little plants in there, all the little border plants and stuff like that for the garden, and she's just getting ahead of the game, and she buys that and she puts it in the shed and all that. But if you want to grow proper plants to the best of the potential, just ask yourself the question.
If I was a plant, would I want this?
A fucking £70 wangling LED.
Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah,
import.
Ho Chi, one of them. A Wangsung.
Do you know what's funny though? A Wangsung. Do you know what's funny though? You know, Doris, she spends Brewsties on air set up. Doris and George, will spend £150 on a propagator.
Yeah.
Just let that settle in, everyone, for a few minutes. £150 on propagator, heated, high dome Vitapod propagators. It's insane. Them retired pensioners who love the horticulture, they do not mind spending money. It's great in the summer.
But just stay away from them cheap
cheap
LEDs. No, if an LED is less than £200, it's dog shit. It is. It's absolute dog shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not getting an LED that's gonna work and bring out the full potential in a plant and give you what you want back. It's not gonna work. Just don't waste your time. You've got to buy good money. And if you can't afford the £300, £400, £500, just save up. We're still early in the LED game. You're not.
We are, yeah.
You know, when I say you're not missing nothing, you are missing something. You're missing growing with LEDs. But we're still early in it. So another year on HPS, save some money up, and then change over.
Yeah.
It's not, there's
What's
no rush.
gonna
It's not a
happen
race.
These are the type of people that will use a £70 LED, do shit, and say, go around on every blog and every forum, go, LEDs are shit. I've used them for a year, they're shit.
Shit. That's because you bought a shit one.
Yeah. Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, funny play on words there. Do you know any? I've got one. If you don't, do you know an LED that you just think that's fat? I would never spend that much money on an LED.
There is, but I don't know the names of them, to be honest, because no, I don't know the names of them, Steve.
Because you look at the price.
Because I work in the shop. No, it is because of the price. So I'd never promote it.
Yeah.
Because it's that expensive.
Yeah.
If someone come in and ask me about it, then well, let's talk, mate. You know what I mean? You're buying good quality grip. But I know you don't need that.
And when we're talking about like expensive LEDs,
why would you buy an LED? I think there's
£3,000 to £4,000 for one fixture.
Yeah. Why would you spend that? Why not go to SANlight, go to Maxi, spend £2,000, and the other £2,000, put it into controllers in the room, put it into getting your room better, and you'll do better than what you will by buying one fucking fixture for £4,000.
These fixtures are all singing, all dancing, tune your spectrum, Bluetooth it from the Canary Islands when you sat on your veranda, chain them up, infinite amounts of LEDs.
Need to do that. You know, my whole thing with that,
even
though,
then, I think it's too expensive.
You put it on the internet, and then when it goes into flower, you can change the spectrum from anywhere in the world. No, mate, when my room goes into flower, mate, I want to be there with it. Who's looking after it?
Yeah.
Who's looking after your plants? Come on, mate.
Bad.
Do you know what I mean?
So I don't. Obviously, they don't. If shops are saying you do not need to buy a £3,000 or £4,000 LED.
No, you definitely don't.
Definitely don't.
You go into your shop and they try and sell you one of them, fucking iron the bastard out because he's making good money on you anyway, and it's just not worth a fucking carrot. It's not needed. There is your expensive grip, which is top shelf, and then there's I don't want to say the lower range and the shit is eBay, Amazon, and stuff like that. But then anything that, if you go and it's Maxi, Mars, SANlight, Lumitech. Yeah. Lumitech do an all right one.
Lumitech, I'll say it again. Lumitech lights are boss. Yeah. Just don't try and get them replaced. If they break. Because they're in a European country. Yeah, so they're a bit of a nightmare
to get replaced.
I should have maybe said that, shouldn't I?
To be honest with you, I need to phone the wholesaler and just iron that all up and clean it all up and see where we are today with it, because it was a bit of a nightmare. It was before the lockdown. We had a bad problem with them. Someone bought 2 of them off us. They brought them back because they broke, which things break. They do. It doesn't matter what you buy. This is why they come with good guarantees. If someone hangs a SANlight up in the room 6 months later, it breaks for whatever reason, it's not an issue. Take the fixture down, bring it back to your shop, you'll be given a replacement and you go and hang it back up. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And shit does break. I've done it. I've got home and hung a telly up years ago in the house. It was on for 2 days. Took the knocker for, what the fuck's going on here? Took it back to the shop, brand new one. Sound. That's just what happens. If you see a car broke down on the motorway, 9 times out of 10, Steve, what car is it? How new is it? That's the answer.
Yeah,
it's always a brand new fucking Audi. When you go down the motorway and you see a recovery truck recovering a car, I guarantee you now it's always a brand new Audi or a brand new mate getting recovered, because that's what happens. It's that much technology in them. Something might give.
There goes the Audi and the Merc sponsorship.
No, but you know what I mean, don't you? There's that much technology in cars. You go back to the 1970s, Mark II Escort, lad, they had the fucking coil pack, and that was it.
Yeah.
There was an ignition, a coil pack, and that was a set of HT leads on the engine, and that was it. The car was running. Now, lad, fucking, I get in the car, lad, turn the thing on. It's like iPads everywhere. You're gonna have problems with stuff. Stuff is gonna have problems. Do you know what I mean? But as long as it comes with a guarantee, don't let it put you off that. Your mate's had a Maxi and it's tucked enough. Because your mate's Maxi's being replaced. So don't worry about it. And if it's broke after the fucking 5 years, don't fucking moan. Yeah. Because you've had fucking 5 years worth of fucking growing.
That brings me back
mate.
to my arguments on Instagram. Someone was like, they're not worth it, LEDs, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, use SANlight as an example. I said, you draw 250 watts. You use 2 of them in a 1.2. And that'll cost you, let's say, £1,000 for the new Evos.
9 ton.
9 ton, yeah, they're a bit cheaper, aren't they? Because you wouldn't use the Evo 5s. And he's like, I just get me 2 or 3 digital lights in there. I'm like, so I ended up working it out. I did it there and then, and we went, okay, so
1,800 watts.
If you let's say two 600, so 1,200 watts of one. I know that the 2 SANlights will easily outperform 2 600s in terms of quality and in yield. We've proven that. I know that you're going to spend less on your electricity. You're going to spend less on your extraction. You're going to be able to grow in the summer. But they're all non-tangibles. They're all stuff that's not proven. So I went to him, okay, I know most people probably don't change the £20 light bulbs every grow, but you should, because they'll lose about 5 to 8% efficiency.
It's not that, the efficiency is one thing, but as them bulbs get older and older and older, do you know what happens with them?
They degrade.
No, they get hotter.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They get hotter and hotter and hotter.
So I did two bulbs. If you did the best thing and you change your bulbs every row, that's 2 new bulbs every 3 months, and that is 8 bulbs every year. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 times 20 is £800. So just on changing your bulbs, in just replacing your bulbs, £800. So you've got the cost of the light, the high electricity cost, the cost of replacing the bulbs to keep them as efficient as an LED. Yeah. After 5 years, you've spent the same on bulbs as you have on your LEDs.
And here's the next one, and this is the killer. This should sell an LED to you. If you're running 2 600-watt bulbs, what fan and filter? What fan are you using? Forget the filter. What fan are you using?
In the winter, 600.
No, because now you're saying in the winter, so you're going to use 2 fans. That's two times money.
No, in the winter.
Let's just go for one. Let's just keep it simple.
8-inch.
8-inch Ice Max.
Yeah.
10-inch cam fan.
Yeah.
What fan are you going to now use running 2 LEDs?
Probably a 4 or 5-inch fan and filter.
6-inch, and it'll probably be on half strength.
Yeah.
So everything has just gone super silent.
Yeah.
There is quieter. No noise. There's no, even though, I don't know, this sounds mad, but everyone seems to think the same as well as I do, is if you've got a room with HPS, it looks and feels and sounds loud.
Yeah.
Because the fans roar and the LEDs have a bit of a surge too. I mean, the lights just feel, they just feel loud. If you go into a room that's running LEDs, oh mate, listen, it's like fucking calm. It's like, wow.
Tranquility.
It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
If you were stood outside the room, you wouldn't know because there's no noise. So you wouldn't know whether that room's on or off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
peaceful.
It's so peaceful in there. It's dead quiet. You know what I mean? And I like it because people come in and go, how much is 6 of them LEDs, lad, for this room? And give them the price and they go, fuck that, lad. Nah, I just want 6 of them normal lights, lad. And they go, what fan and filter? I go, what do you want, lad? Do you want the good grip that's going to last you? Isomax, Qmax, or do you want the lower down shit box fans and that? Nah, just 2,500 box fan to go, lad. They go, is that quiet, lad? I can't have it noisy. I say, yeah, I don't know. But if you bought the 6 fucking LEDs, lad, you wouldn't need that, you'd need 6-inch ISO.
My mum had the same problem.
Because now you're not moving the heat out the room. You're just changing the air in the room to what it needs to be. Yeah. So if someone said, for you to grow plants in this room, you need to change the air 3 times an hour. that's all your fan's got to, that's the fan that you've got to get to match that. Where when you're running HPSs, you've got to remove the amount of air for the heat that's in there, plus exchange the air in the room. Do you know what I mean?
My mum had that exact problem. My mum's dead into art, so she was making these little pillows and lavender. She used to put lavender in them. So you put these little lavender pillows into your bedroom, underneath your pillows, and the smells and the aromas would help you get off to sleep. But for her unique selling point, she wants to get the lavender, extract the oils, and put like the oils within these little pillows. So she asked me if she didn't want to carry on buying lavender plants. She wanted to grow her own. Part of her unique selling point, all the lavender is grown organically in my house, and we put it all in. So she did this, and she said that obviously my mum didn't have a lot of money for this lavender grow kit. She bought a little setup. She wanted to grow them quick, so I went, use the stuff from the shop. So she put like 400 watt HPS in there, used one of these small box fans because it was the cheapest one in the shop, and it was making a lot of noise. My mum had it next to her bedroom, and she's like, oh, it's a nightmare. I can't sleep next to it. So we ended up getting a slightly better fan. I paid the extra for the fan. It was quieter, and she didn't even know it was on next door. So you need them to be quiet, because if you do grow in your own house, it's a nightmare when you're trying to get to sleep, as my mum found out.
So that's LEDs and that covered, isn't it?
Yeah.
And fans, let's say.
Well, let's talk a little bit about extraction. Should you scrimp on your insurance policy, as we call fans and filters?
Definitely not.
I don't know why anybody would want to buy cheap fans and filters. I don't think you can ever spend too much on fans and filters. I'll
disagree a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I can understand why people do it, because if they haven't got the money to do it, it is what it is, and you've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But buy the cheap fan, but don't buy the cheap filter.
Yeah.
Do not buy the cheap filter, because if you're growing tomatoes in your house, tomatoes smell like cat piss, and you will have a cat pissy smell all over your house. You want your filter to work 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
That's it on filters.
Yeah.
Fans.
What about nutrients? Should we say the really common, what's the word? The thing that gets every grower like, yeah, we knew we were right, and every grower should go, shut up. Every nutrient works. Every single one.
Yeah.
On our shop anyway. Every single one of the nutrients in our shop works. Whether it's Vitalink and it's your cheap budget, or whether it's
Mills,
Nano, the high-end Hydrotops.
Everything, CANNA, Monkey Nutrients, they all work.
Now, I do believe that the higher price nutrients do have something to offer than the cheaper nutrients, but I don't think you can really go wrong when you're buying nutrients myself. If your nutrient goes wrong, it's more likely that you...
I know what you're trying to say. So if you're running a shit room and you've got the heat problem, and you've got a bit of stress in there, whatever nutrient you use isn't going to help you.
Yeah.
But the only time you will see the full benefit of an amazing nutrient is when you're running a room that's perfect, that's dialed right in, the humidity's perfect, lights off temperatures, lights off humidity, lights on humidity, lights on temperature, everything, the watering patterns of your plant, the feeding pattern, everything's perfect in your room. It's fully dialed in. That's when you'll see the difference in nutrients.
Definitely.
But I don't think still you're going to see some of these people claim, oh, my nutrient puts 50% on top of whatever you're getting now. No, it doesn't, mate. How the fuck do you know I'm not growing in the NC under a fucking street lamp, you daft cunt? How do you know, though, that I'm not growing in the NC under a street lamp, you daft twat? So how can you tell me that it's going to give me 50% more?
Yeah.
It's never going to do that.
I've said it.
Nutrients only work to the best of its ability when they're in a room that's running to its best of its ability.
I'm just trying to think how to get across what I'm going to get across in a bit of a metaphor, because we all know I love a metaphor. All nutrients work, but I do think that if you can afford, if you've paid good money, if you've got your extraction nailed on, if you've got your lighting nailed on, if your room is spot on, it is worth spending money on your
Yeah,
nutrients
definitely, because
there's
that's
higher grade salts.
Yeah. And it's the only way to get even more, because if your room's dialed in, you're getting the maximum.
Yeah.
So the only way forward now to get more and more and push for more is to get better nutrients.
And what is a better nutrient? I would say there's the new nutrient, nanonutrients. They've got their unique selling point of nanoparticles. So that's a good unique selling point, and that's why it's good but slightly expensive range up there with house and garden, hard shops and mills. But the reason that other high quality expensive nutrients are more expensive is because they use better ingredients. So let's say we're looking for nitrogen. There's lots of different types of nitrogen. Your cheap ones will use a low grade nitrogen. Your expensive ones will use a very good high grade. And what do we mean by low grade and high grade? Basically, nutrients are made up of salts, and these salts come with contaminants. The more contaminants in, the more the pathway, your motorway to your plant. Yeah, the lower grade. The more contaminants, the lower grade.
The less contaminants.
So your plant, you've got,
grade.
Let's say we want 100% nitrogen in our salt. Low grade nitrogens have got 70% nitrogen and 30% other shit that the plant doesn't use. So the highway to getting the nitrogen into your plant just takes that little bit longer, takes the plant more energy, and it's just, you're putting shit into your plant that it doesn't need.
Yeah.
High grade nutrients got 90 to 95% nitrogen, 5% contaminants. So you're getting more nitrogen into your plants. You're getting it in quicker, you're getting it in easier. There's less shit in your plants. And that shit also increases your EC. So a 1.5 EC with cheap nutrients and a 1.5 EC with expensive nutrients is very different in terms of ingredients. So don't be fooled just by EC.
Yeah. But every nutrient works.
It does, yeah.
And there is some of the nutrients now that have come out. I think a lot of nutrients have, like, there's loads that have been around for years, and I think they're starting to lose the market. I think they're starting to drop off. Do you know what I mean? And I've spoke to other people who own other shops and that, and they've said the same. Yeah, there's been like a good few nutrients that have come through lately. Monkey Nutrients, he makes a pure shout about it, and it is a good product. Every bit of it is a good product, and it's not the most expensive product in the world. It's not. It's a premium range, but it's fucking good. It is a good product. There is loads of products out there now that have just come out, and I think it's the same as digitals. It's the same as we talk about digital lights. These other people now, they've been that much stuck in the way since the early 90s when they first come out, is that they're staying the same and they're happy and they've made it in life. The nutrient company's absolutely huge and it's thriving, but these other companies now are coming out and
jumping at the bit.
Listen, they're biting at the heels, mate, and they're making the noise, and they are. Do you know what I mean? I've seen it in our shop personally.
Let's give it an example of how this happens. So all these old nutrients that we're talking about still work phenomenally, but
times change.
Let's say, Barry, you've had. Let's talk about something. Let's do another metaphor. You've built a car, and you've built a car. And it's on the production line for 30 years.
No, you don't.
And you use the same.
Some people might not know about cars. Let's just say tellies. Your telly 15 years ago had a fucking back on it like an angry house cat. Yeah. It's like your telly in the living room looked like an American fridge. Now they're on the wall and they look like a picture frame.
Yeah.
It's the same as nutrients. These new nutrients that are coming out now are the telly on the wall that looks like a picture frame.
Yeah, new technology.
The other ones that still work, still watch the news, still will see what's going on in Ukraine, but it's a fucking unit in your living room. It's it's like putting an American fridge in your living room.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say, it's not even
technology moves on. Look at phones. It's the same with phones. Go back 15 years ago, there was no iPhone, was there? Everyone was on Nokia's playing fucking snakes and texting, pushing the button 3 times just to get the fucking H up or whatever. But now, it's I just push the button and just talk to my phone to send a text. Tell it what I want to say. Just, what's happening, lads? Why are we kids? Yeah, man.
Do you know what? It's not even laziness. It's just
it's not
efficiency.
Yeah.
Because some of these nutrient companies, the point I was trying to make is, let's say there's a single ingredient that these nutrients use to put into their flower enhancing products. And I've been putting that same product in for the last 20 years because it works and it works well.
Yeah.
And when you know you've got a product that works well, you've got a big
Why
market
would you
share.
change it?
Why would you change it?
Yeah.
So why would you look for new products?
But
the new products.
I also think
You don't know where I was going to go with that. The new products are looking, where can I get this new seaweed? Where can I get this new nitrogen?
Yeah.
Where can I get this?
that's what I was going to say.
And they're actually finding.
It's like the builder. The old builder still turns up with the handsaw. The new builder turns up with the reciprocating saw, mate.
Yeah.
They're stuck in their way.
Because it worked.
Because it works and they're stuck in that rhythm.
Yeah.
The new people of today, mate, are like, the new technology they've got's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it's, the people like.
And the science behind it of finding the science implants 15 years ago to the science implants today is moved on dramatically.
Yeah.
Of, no, your plant doesn't really like that.
Yeah.
It likes that form of that, but in this, you know what I mean, this different grade. And
what I will say for...
shit's moved on, but let's move off nutrients now.
What I will say for CANNA, though, and the old companies have got to do this. And
I think CANNA's one of the ones that...
They spend as much money on research and development today
I think
as they do on marketing.
Probably out of all of them is the only one that stays ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Or stays on the curve with everyone else. You can bite at the heels all they want, mate. They're not going to... No one's going to bring them down.
No.
They're too big, too bulky, too cost efficient.
If me and you made the best telly in the world right now,
you still wouldn't.
Are we going to beat Samsung?
No, you're not. You're not.
So you've got to take all this into
nailed it.
consideration.
CANNA has nailed it, and the big pat on the back, mate. They've moved forward. Do you know what I mean? But they've not also. When I say move forward, the new products ranges that they're coming out with, the bio range and all stuff like that, and they've got the mono, haven't they?
Yeah, and
which has always been there. The mono's great because that's for people who are, even I won't touch mono. I'm not that fucking clever. I won't touch that. That's when you're mixing your own shit. You know what I mean? That's when you know what you're top of your game when you're using the mono range, because that's like fucking, when I say dangerous, I don't mean it's dangerous, but I mean like,
you can fuck shit up real quick.
1 mil too much of one of them and you're fucked. You know what I mean? But let's go off nutrients now. All nutrients are great. If your room is absolutely perfect, up your nutrients to the next level. If your room's running shit, just use whatever you want.
What about tents?
Tents.
Is there a too expensive tent? Is there a too cheap tent?
There always is. I think in everything in life, there's something that's too expensive. There's some women out there that you'd never afford. And there's women out there that you can afford. You could have 5 of them. I don't mean that bad. I don't mean that bad, but if Kim Kardashian walked in here now, she'd put me into liquidation before we even got out the door. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And tell me about
She's
these 5 women that you could
says
afford.
like, yeah, should we go shopping? I'm like, yeah, Morrison's and that girl. Yeah, she's like, nah, Louis Vuitton. I'm like, fuck me.
I want to know more about these 5 women you could afford.
You know what I mean?
I see the look in his eye. He's like, shit, what have I just said?
No, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
There's women out there who are just money.
Yeah.
I sound like proper, what's it? It's like sexist, innit? What is it? Chauvinist.
Chauvinist.
I'm going to get fucking razor blades through the post.
Yeah. I was like, let's move off women quick.
Fucking hell.
Well, we were talking about tents.
Yeah.
And this got pretty intense.
No, but what I was
quickly.
saying is there's cheap tellies. You can go to the Asda right now and buy a telly for 120 quid and it works exactly the same as the new LED Q.
Yeah.
The LED Q's a well better picture, well better sound. But I can still watch the same football game.
Yeah, you can.
So
tents, I would not buy the cheap tents. Experience is you put your fan and filter in there, you're in and out. A pole will snap and a filter will crush your plants.
Fucking but
you can get good budget tents, as Barry has just found out.
I understand why people buy them, because also, Steve, if you don't have the money and you've got a passion for growing and you can't afford it, buy it.
But we need to now start differentiating between cheap, good quality and cheap, shit quality.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about what we were going to talk about at the beginning of the podcast. Yeah. What have you just found out that was quite shocking to you in the shop? You've just put it
about
up yesterday.
The kit.
Yeah.
About a full kit.
Yeah.
That you can buy a full kit.
From us or from the NPK shop?
We sell. So we've always sold good quality tents, and we will.
We prided ourselves, didn't we?
When someone comes in and asks me for a tent in the shop, says, I need a 1.2 by 1.2, I will instantly talk about BudBox. Is it Mammoth?
Mammoth, Highlights, Gorilla.
Highlights, Gorilla. I will instantly talk about them. I won't talk about the cheap ones. But I also give them that option of, what's your budget, mate? Do you know what I mean? What's your budget, love?
Yeah.
And if they haven't got the budget, then to be honest, I've just found a tent that good quality. To be fair, we've set a tent up in the shop. It comes from one of our suppliers, and it's probably one of the cheapest tents out there. But it's not the shittiest tent out there as well.
It's definitely not.
It's called, fuck me.
You best know, because I've not got a clue.
It says on the door, room to bloom.
Yeah.
I forget the fucking name of it, but I'm sure it's called Room to Bloom.
We'll find this out for next week when we do our head-to-head.
It's a cheap tent setup, so we now sell a tent. Now that I found that, I have put it in as a showcase one. Really and truly, I shouldn't have. I think I've done it the wrong way around. I think what I should have done is put your BudBox there, your premium tent, because that's what we do push. But I've put it there as a display in the shop just to show people how cheap it can be and the good quality in it, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, if they don't look at it and they come to the till, I talk about BudBox, I talk about Gorilla, I talk about all them, but then I ask them the price range. If I know they can't afford that, then I will turn them to it and say, well, what about that one? It's not one of your branded names, it's not the best quality in the world. The full setup, so I've managed to wangle £220 for a full setup.
1.2?
A 1.2 by 1.2. So that's a 1.2 by 1.2 tent. It comes with 4 pots, any that you choose, whether it be fucking 1 litres right up to 25 litres. A 600 watt dimmable digital light kit, go down to 250 right up to 660. It comes with a 5-inch fan and filter, which, to be honest, you know what I'm like, Steve, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, the fan's too small. But me and Jalal have had it on for the past 2 days. And to be honest, it's not bad. It is all right. It's not a bad little fan and filter. Do you know what I mean?
It probably won't last as long as the others.
It's not going to last as long as the others, but it's a starter for the novice.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's good quality. It's not going to fucking fall down. The zips aren't going to break. The light and digital kit, if you get 1.5 years, 2 years out of it, well done. Do you know what I mean? Good. Do you know what I mean? I think it comes with a year's guarantee or something anyway on it, so we will replace it anyway. The fan and filter, they never really break anyway. Do you know what I mean? They don't. It's not. How often do you get fans back?
Yeah,
don't.
It's hard for us to say that because we do 95% fans and good quality fans, like you can fans.
I have also got to cater for them people. Some people come in the shop and they can't afford it. Do you know what I mean? So at least I'm giving people now the option where in a year's time, Stephen, I could get 10 people in next week who all buy that kit. And I'll be dead honest, we don't make a huge amount from that. We sell a full kit for 220. Fucking hell, comes with rope ratchets, duct and fan, filter, light, tent, pots, fucking everything. Plug and grow time. It comes with the full shebang. But if I can just get them started, I've done my job. If they come in, they can't afford it. They've got a budget of £250 and they think they're getting something tiny and I can offer them that. Then in a year's time, Steve, what's going to happen?
You'd probably, once you're into your hobby and you're enjoying it, you'd probably go, you know what? We're going to get better.
Yeah, well, what's the better light? So, and that's how it's created.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like golf. I'm shit at it. I've got a shit pair of golf clubs.
No.
But
I wouldn't
spend £1,000 on golf.
And I've got a mate. He's got a few quid. He's done well for himself and all that, good job and all that. no kids, no bird. And he changes his hobby every 3 months. He gets into a hobby, and let's just say it was fishing that he got into. Never fished in his life. Let's say he gets into fishing. He will go out and spend...
He'll just buy the best.
He'll go right into Tasker Sport and Angling or whatever Boss fishing shop it is and spend $4,000. Rig himself out. So if you looked at him, you'd think, wow, he knows what he's doing. Look at the grip he's got. Look at the clothes he's wearing. A proper Boss fishing coat, that, that fucking few quid. You'd think he was Boss. And then you'd look at all, if he got to the lake and he got all his stuff out, you'd think, oh my God, this kid's going to fucking batter us. If he went into a match. And do you know what he'd do? He'd get it all out and he hasn't got a fucking clue. He doesn't even know how to cast the rod out. He doesn't even know what fish he's caught. He's that shit. But he'll do the same again. I've got into motocross. He won't go on Auto Trader. He'll go right to Yamaha and order the brand spanking new 2002 Yamaha fucking whatever.
2002?
He'll buy the...
2022?
2022. And he'll go to Yamaha and say, yeah, I want boots, pants, top. I want all the grip. He'll even go out and buy the single trailer that motorbike goes on. He does go the full hog. I say to him, buzz off you, lad. Your wardrobe must have like a full hockey outfit, snooker outfit, wrestling outfit, go-karting outfit, fucking shooting outfit, scuba diving, fucking with all the bottles. He just gets into it and goes the full hog. You don't need to.
No.
You don't need to. It's great to go the full hog and it's great to be the fisherman with all the Boss stuff. But at the very start...
Know how to fish.
Yeah, you've got to know how to fish. And by having the cheap temp book, which is good quality, the cheap light book, which is good quality, the cheap fan and filter book, which is good quality, you can learn. That plant doesn't know what. Fuck off, mate. You've got the worst sense, dickhead. Well, fuck him. I'm not growing in this. You can fuck right off. It's trying to get out one of the vents at the back like that. Nah, I'm gone. Phone me an Uber. I'm fucking going. It doesn't happen like that. Yeah. So don't run straight out because you might do 6 months and think, you know what, this isn't for me. I've had a go, and you haven't wasted nothing. So if you like it though, then you can upgrade. If you like a hobby, you automatically go balls deep into it. I know that myself off the hobbies I've got. You know what I mean? It nearly puts me into liquidation. I can't tell.
You know your hobbies.
I can't tell my missus what I spend because she just fucking hit the roof.
She said like the same to me, to be honest. What? She said the same to me about her hobbies. She can't tell you what she spends. £200 on a medicine ball. What? I said she doesn't tell you half the things that she spent on you as well.
She spent £200 on a medicine ball.
Look how much you've got a cob on. I just made that up and look, he's already got a cob on.
But that's what it does though, doesn't it?
It does though. On the medicine ball.
If I went home now and spent, do you know what, babe?
This up.
Just bought a set of brake pads for my car. Carbon Lorraine. Fucking unbelievable. They don't work in the cold. They only work when the car's red hot because that's how I drive the car until it's red hot. And she said to me, how much were they? And I went, oh, yeah, they're £365 from Demon Tweaks. Just for front ones. She'd fucking hit the roof, lad. Even though it's my money,
when are you gonna tell her?
Would hit the roof and say, we could have got fucking paneling up the stairs for that. We could have got a painter. We could have done this. We could have done that. You're outspending that.
If you're listening to this.
I guarantee now, every man with a hobby hides the hobby. I go home to my bed and go, she goes, where are you going? I'm going, Scotland. What for? Bought something off eBay. I haven't told her it's fucking £500 and it is a bargain. You know me, Steve. I won't buy it unless it's a bargain. Will I? I'll wait. I will. I'm one of them people.
You'll wait until your boiler breaks.
Yeah. I'm one of them people where if it's £1,000 in the shop, I guarantee you now I will find that used for £400 and it's just as good as new. I'll get it where it's still got fucking warranty on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's just me. But every man,
every grower listens to this,
who walks into his house, let's go back to the fisherman, he walks in with the new rod and the missus looks at him and goes, new rod, yeah. I guarantee you now that rod's cost £200. He's saying, yeah. It's only £50 now. I do it. I get a bargain for £500 where don't really want to go and get it because I don't really need it, but it's that much of a bag and I'm going to get it. And I go and get it and my mate says, how much is it? And I go, 75 quid, a fucking bargain, innit? Put me fuel on it and all like, yeah, about 120 quid. It's cost me a fucking bargain. That. She doesn't know it was £500. Every man does that.
How many of the growers listening have spent £500, £1,000 on LEDs or £400 on a fan, a good Isamax fan, and like the bird's gone, oh, what's all this new kit? Yeah, it needed it, needed it, couldn't do it without it.
He
How
gave
much?
me that. He just gave me it.
Oh, it was a 2-for-1 deal,
Yeah.
Them two LEDs,
To be
price
honest,
of one.
I went in the shop today and he said, just take it, you can have it.
It's old
just
stock.
a cheap one, baby. It's a shithead, really, but...
How many of you are doing that?
That's just what happens.
We'll have to do a shout out
But
to all the women.
Don't go out and buy.
Find out how much he's actually spending.
It's like Steve said before, there's cheap but good quality. And like the setup that we've got in the shop now is cheap, but it's good quality. I've got faith that if you took it home and you set it all up, it's not going to collapse on you. The zip's not going to break. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that zip's not going to break in 18 months. The same way as I'm not saying on a fucking $2,000 tent that the zip's not going to break in 18 months because shit happens, shit breaks. Do you know what I mean? But,
so the reason for this podcast, to summarise, is that now we're at a point where we have started selling cheap, good quality equipment because it exists now.
Yeah.
It didn't. I don't think it existed 5 years ago. If it was cheap, it was shit. Now somehow we've got to a point where we can get not bad stuff for cheap. And at the other side of the scale,
it's not that.
You've
If
got
you
expensive
don't sell
stuff.
them, let's have it right in another. Let's go to a businessman. If you don't sell them, they're cheap but good quality. And they think, oh yeah, I'm going back in that shop. That's like fucking thousands of pounds for all this and all that. They're going to go home. They're going to go on eBay. They're going to buy the worst fucking fan and filter you can ever imagine. They're going to buy the shitty fucking Samsung LED that you can fucking buy. And they're going to have a bad experience and it's going to be put to bed. That'll be dead. It's done.
Yeah.
Because they had a bad experience from it.
So yeah, expensive stuff. There's now, because of the market that we're in, there's people going to be trying to make money, and they'll be putting out expensive stuff that actually, it's unlikely to be really shit, but it's definitely, there's expensive stuff out there that is definitely only as good as your good quality stuff for £700 or £800. Do you know what I mean? Then you've got to be aware of the things like BioWave minis and BioWaves that are super expensive, marketed fantastically, if that's a word, and people think it opens stomata. It doesn't. And you're just wasting thousands of pounds. So it's about opening your mind, opening your eyes, speak to the people in the shop, because I can guarantee you the shops, the UK hydroponic shops, are in the majority ran and managed by good people, and they want to sell you good stuff. And the reason they want to sell you good stuff is because they want you to keep coming back.
And they don't want the headache of fucking you coming back, saying you've sold me shit stuff, mate. And you go, yeah, mate, you bought a £10 fucking light kit, told you it'd break, and you still took it because you couldn't afford it. Now you've come back and that £10 gone. There's no guarantee with that cheap shit, and now you're having to buy a £70 one, and you're blaming me for it.
Yeah.
And I give you the advice.
We've said it before, we'll say it again. There's one surefire way of knowing it. If you're in a good shop or a bad shop. If you're in a good shop, no, actually we'll start with the bad shop. If you're in a bad shop and you go in and you ask for something, I need an 8-inch fan and filter, and I need this, and I need that, and I need the other. If they just walk straight off, go and get all the kit you've asked for, give it to you, take your money off, you put it in the till, and say nothing other than hi and ta-da, I would have my...
No, they should
Spidey
ask you. They should turn out to you and say, like, well, what is it you're doing? What tent are you in? A tent? Are you in a room? What lights are you running with this fan and filter? Are you running LEDs? Are you running that? And you might not know and think, you might have been running an 8-inch with 2600. Now you've bought an LED. Let's say you bought one offline, but it's a good one that you've bought offline. You haven't bought it from your local shop. And then you go in the shop and go, oh, yeah, I need a new fan and filter. You might still be thinking you need an 8-inch or whatever. He should ask you what light you're running, because if you said LED, he'd say, yeah, well, are you in a room or a tent? And you tell me a tent. What size tent? I'm in a 1 metre by 1 metre. Oh, well, what LED have you got? Oh, yeah, I know that LED. So there's not much heat off them. So all you need now is a fan and filter that just exchanges the air in that room, which will be a lot smaller than an 8-inch and a lot cheaper for you, to be honest. And I have 3 different ones. I do have the expensive one, which is fucking guaranteed for 2 years, top quality, #1 fucking seller in the world. But it's expensive or it's premium. And I have the middle ground, which is such and such. I've had a few returns. They do get replaced. Can be a bit of a nightmare. Or if you want, I've got 2 cheap versions. I've got a version there where once you walk out that door, mate, you ain't fucking coming back with it. I don't give a fuck. And I've got a cheap version that if it breaks in the next 6 months, you can bring it back. It's got a little 6-month guarantee on it, but it is good quality. We don't really get many of them back. It could last you a year. But it'll see you through if you can't afford the next 2 options. They should give you options. Yeah. Every shop should give you options.
And sometimes you'll go into a shop, 8-inch fan and filter, because you run 2 lights and a 1.2, and if they say, what lights are you running? And you'll tell them, you're like, yeah, good, spot on, perfect fan and filter. And they'll go and get it for you. But they should always ask questions. So that's your quick fire method of knowing if you're in a good shop or a bad shop. Do you have anything else to add, Basil? Or are you going to start getting yourself ready for our small room, big room grow off? Cheap room, expensive room grow off?
And I will piss all over you.
That's not very nice.
I will piss all over you on setting up a grow room.
Maybe in the actual setting up of a grow room.
Where you'll struggle setting it up is you don't know the difference between a screwdriver and a hammer.
Well, this is a theoretical grow room, Basil.
This is theoretical, so you could be on par with me. For you. But if I said to you, Stephen, hang a light up, you are a bit shit. If
I said to you, Barry, tell me the spectrum of that light, you are a bit shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So why don't we just
What was that, Molly?
Yeah. Why don't we just build one grow room between us?
Okay, because sometimes competitions don't work out great for
me.
And
we'll do. No, they don't. I spanked you last time, didn't I, with something with the alphabet one?
Yeah.
Spanked you. So why don't we build, if we're doing it together, we build 2 grow rooms. We'll build a budget good quality.
Budget good quality.
And we'll build
premium good quality.
Premium good quality.
Do you know who spanked both of our asses?
Who?
Mr. Ian Collins.
Why, what did he
listened to the podcast, rang me, and he went, can't believe you struggled on and named all the letters, because he just listened to it on in the car on the way to his holiday with his wife. They both battered us, apparently. They were like, we were saying these as they came out. Went, well, it's very good sat in your car on your way to your holidays.
Yeah, but you're old, Ian. And you've got years and years and years on us, mate. You've been
That's
around
also very true.
Since donkeys were powered on magnetic ballasts.
Yeah, he could have done the alphabet backwards twice.
That's it.
So there you go.
Been around the clock, mate. You can tell.
Right, if you've got any thoughts or opinions on what we've discussed today, you can ring our helpline, 01512288306. No, don't do that.
Ask for Jalal.
Yeah.
And he is there to help.
Send us a DM at the podcast, NPK Podcast, and let me know your thoughts. Have a boss weekend, day, week, month, year, whenever it is you're listening. And this is me, Steve.
This is a cheap podcast, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
It's
no paper was needed for this podcast. No paper was harmed in the making of this podcast.
Cheap. Look, it's cheap, but it's quality.
And it was cheerful.
Yeah.
See you next time, Basil.
Emotional. Ta-ra, lad.
Bye-bye.